Hello, this is to guide you through a couple of resources we've developed around district level and school level analysis of your SAM results. SAM, again, is your self-assessment of MTSS. So first off, this is just a short recording, and hopefully these protocols will be somewhat self-explanatory for your use, but if we go in, what you're provided, and these are also uploaded to the live binder, is first off a district level analysis protocol. So if we go into the district level analysis, the idea of this is that if you have administered the SAM with a critical mass of schools in your district, then you'll have some district aggregate data. Right here on the protocol, you'll see what the district implementation average is that you can obtain through the SAM app. So if we look across this, you see the critical components, and then what the SAM app will give you on the district level report is the percentage of implementation across current school year and the previous school year. So you can use this currently to make some implementation planning decisions, or you can wait until you've administered the SAM for the 17-18 school year. It'll just average out the percentage of implementation across all the schools who participated in the SAM and across each of those critical components. So to gather that within the SAM app, I'll move over here, and you can see as we log into the SAM at a district level, then you can go to this Reports tab. On the Reports tab, I'll go ahead and just select a district that I know has done a critical mass of SAM implementation for last school year. For you, you're probably going to select this school year if it's after you've already completed the SAM with your schools, but if you wanted to start right away, you would just change the year to 16-17. We're going to go to the district aggregate report on the left-hand side. Okay, so now that we're in the district aggregate report, you'll see that table that we have listed in the protocol. So what we recommend at the district level is that you look across those critical components. We all know that we can't boil the ocean all at once, so we can look across these critical components and be able to see indicating what's the critical component with the highest percentage of implementation. So if we look at this school year, for this data, we can see 3-tiered instruction intervention. So I'd include that. I'd write that on here. This is a very paper and pencil data analysis protocol. But of course, you can tweak it however works for you. And then we recommend looking across that lowest percentage of implementation. So if we look at that, we see data evaluation. So from here, you have some options. What we recommend is you either select that component with the highest percentage of implementation to work on district-wide. This may be if you want to go for the option that has, I'm sorry, it was communication and collaboration. If you want to go for that option that has a quick win, so there may be some items within communication and collaboration as our highest item that we can quickly tweak and be able to see impact across our district quickly, or you can focus on the lowest item, lowest critical component for implementation planning. So the data evaluation. So you may see that, okay, we really need to do some work in this critical component, so I'm going to focus on that. The important piece here, however you go about it, is that if you're looking at a district-wide view, we don't want you to try to do everything at once. So we want you to be somewhat strategic in how you focus on that district-wide data. After that point, when you decide, okay, which one are we going to focus on? We're going to go to the LEA export screen to get some very specific, and it has all those steps in here for you, some very specific item level data for that section. So I'm not going to go through every piece of how you get this out of the app, but what we've tried to do in here is screenshot exactly how you would export this data, and it's through the LEA export screen. So that's what you'll see right here. It says LEA export. Within this, you can get all kinds of SAM data for your district or for an individual school. So basically, the LEA export allows you to export any type of data in any way that you want to. So what you see in here is that we're going to filter it by section, within that section, section is the same as critical component for these purposes. You'll see that then after we choose section on the LEA export, we can choose which critical component we want to focus on. So what this will do at the district level is allow you to export all the items under that critical component for all your schools. So for example here, if we've applied and we're going to look at data evaluation, what it will give you is this sorting of all the questions. We're looking at three-tiered instruction and intervention actually on this example. It'll give you all the questions that have to do with three-tiered instruction and intervention, all of those, and then it'll give them for each school in your district. If we sort by the question number, which is very easy, you just click on the top of that column and you can sort it by question number. You can see that then each school's response to that question. So overall, you can look to see what are the majority of my schools responding to that question? Is there a trend? And is that something we can impact district-wide? So we ask that you then focus in on that one component and look at the scores across the schools on that question number, on those question numbers. And then we just ask some questions. Is there consistency across this item that can be impacted district-wide? And then you take whichever critical component you decided to focus on, and all we're doing here, we don't want you to do this for everyone because you get very tired, but if you're focusing in on one critical component, so for example, the three-tiered instruction intervention model, these are the question numbers, and what we're asking, what you can do as a way to analyze this data is you just insert kind of what's the most common score. So when I looked at that data for this component, if I look back up here, I can see the most common score on this particular item, item 33, is a 1, indicating that they're not yet really implementing that. And it'll actually tell you kind of what that question asks and then what that specific item on the rubric is. After you've determined, okay, a lot of my schools are functioning at a level 1 on item 33, right here, we can say, okay, 1 would be the most common one. And then you use this blank over here to really kind of analyze if my schools are functioning at a level 1. If I go back to my SAM rubric, pull up my SAM rubric from the live binder. We can see on this SAM rubric, what does that mean to be functioning at a level 1 on here? So since the SAM is implemented as a rubric, we can look across and say, if I'm a level 1 on item 33, let's go all the way down to item 33. So level 1 on item 33 indicates that at tier 3, or my intensive behavior and social emotional practices, really we have either, the student, we are coming up with strategies that are based on student needs. Maybe they're not aligned with tier 1 and tier 2, or they're not linked to academic content, or we're not really using assessment sources to link directly to the skills taught. So we can look what's going on at that point in the rubric and then make some decisions about how can we impact this item district-wide. So as we look at that district level analysis, again, we're just focusing in on 1, maybe 2 critical components, and then really diving in to say what's the most common score for the items on those, and then using that SAM rubric, what could be some next steps to impact that district-wide. If you wanted to do this work with a school, we have a very similar school level analysis protocol for school level data. So on the school protocol, it's very simple to go ahead in the app and pull that aggregate report. So if I went in to pull that aggregate report, I'm going to go to my school summary tab. I'm going to show you from this point. I'm going to go to that school summary tab, and the school summary is going to show us exactly what the level of implementation and the percentage of implementation at that school's level is. Again, the same type of analysis. We'd pick either the one with the highest implementation percentage or the lowest is what we recommend. So you can determine, it depends on your philosophy. Do you want to go for something that's a quick win, or do you want to go for something that's the highest need? And then we'd walk that school team through. They can go to their school summary report. It's very simple to see across there what level were we scoring on each of those items. So we focus in on one of those critical components and say, okay, how do we use this data about where we are currently, and look across that SAM rubric to say, are there some items that we can impact with just a few implementation steps? So for example, if we look across leadership, we can look and see what is our current score on some of those leadership components. Where are we currently? This one says we're operationalizing for item 1. We can go back to that SAM rubric here. Look at item 1, and when we're operationalizing, we know that the principal is actively involved and supports the leadership team. Maybe the next piece to get to optimizing is we need to get leadership actively supporting database problem solving use. So that's a very concrete step that we can take and insert on our protocol to say, how are we going to impact this? So that is the 2 protocols that we wanted to present you with. Again, on the live binder, these are available under the Measuring Implementation tab. Here's the whole SAM, what you saw here, the rubric is here. We also have some SAM information for stakeholders, a SAM infographic, and then these district level and school level analysis protocols. That's it for now. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions, please let your coordinator know.